Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in as we are live from the Broad House, Old World 3rd Street downtown. Take advantage of their Brewers shuttles to and from each Brewers home game. And I'm telling you, this is the place where you want to hop on the shuttle from downtown. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka, refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser is only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise. Milwaukee, definitely want to take advantage of that. And obviously, we have the big game coming up this weekend, Green Bay and Philadelphia. Are you a person, Charlie? We'll have the Green Bay football post-game show after the game as well, myself. And Tommy Wirtz here on the Fan, so make sure to spread the word about that. Are you a person that likes to go out for the game if you're not working, which I'm assuming you work every Sunday at your other job?
Yep.
But if you didn't work every Sunday at your other job, are you a person that likes to go out bar hopping and watching at the different bars, record the game to watch it later? You like to sit home in the privacy of your own couch? What do you think?
Sit at home all the time. I hate going out to the bars to watch games because nobody ever actually wants to watch the game, and I'm the only person that ever wants to watch the game. So the only way to watch the games is get people to come to your place, and then you can make them sit down and watch it at your TV. That's how it works.
I like going out. However, I have kids now, so that doesn't happen anymore. But back in the day, I loved going out to watch games. That is definitely something that I've been a big fan of. And the reason I'm a big fan of it is quite simply because when you're out, you can experience the highs and the lows of a game. When you're in your own home, yeah, you're yelling and you're screaming to yourself. But when you're in a packed bar or a packed restaurant and everybody is cheering and high-fiving with you and all of that, I think that's really what it's all about at the end of the day.
I guess. But also, again, I don't want to be touched by other people. I don't want to be around other people usually when I'm watching these games because I like having my own emotions in my own type of place. I want to watch the games and get fired up the way I want to get fired up and not have to deal with other people, again, bothering me next to me.
This is the other thing about this, too, when we talk about, where you like to watch games and all this. And we're out at the Broad House, and they got the TVs up in here, and you can watch all the games. Got bar dice going on over here to my side. You can hear the dice smashing against the bar. All the fun bar games that you can play, too, right? You got shots going around maybe when the Packers score touchdowns. You got the pull-it tabs. What are those things called, Charlie?
Pull tabs.
Pull tabs, right? Yeah. Are you a big pull tabs guy?
That is the only reason I ever go to bars anyways is to do pull tabs. Like, that's my favorite thing about bars. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's the only, I don't gamble really at all. That's the only kind of gambling I'll do.
Really?
Really.
Yeah, I like pull tabs, but I never did pull. I mean, I grew up in Kenosha. Never did pull tabs at any of the bars I went to. Never had it.
You were missing out.
Never did it.
That's unfortunate. Pull tabs, again, are one of the key parts of a Wisconsin bar experience.
Bar dice done many a times.
Yeah, that's part of it too. But pull tabs are where it's at.
No, pull tabs. That's not something. I mean, I do them now, but again, back in the day when I was in my 20s going out to bars, I never had pull tabs at any of the bars I used to go to. All right, let's talk about what's going on here with the Green Bay Packers and Micah Parsons. So, the Micah Parsons conversation that Charlie used and Mitch Thundernellis had earlier today on Middays with Thunder, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. now on the Fan, as Rich Eisen has gone to ESPN Radio, was quite concerning to me, if I'm being honest. Because I was driving around doing different things for the radio station, and I had these two knuckleheads on the radio dial listening to both of these two. First, I hear Charlie talking about, oh, man, if he doesn't play and the Packers lose, oh, man, that's not going to be good. Man, you need to stop it, you Bears fan. You just need to stop. And then I got Mitch over there talking about, if it's really bad. And stop. Just stop with all
Mitch
this nonsense.
was so much worse than me. He was way more down and depressed.
Yes, he was. Yes, you were both very depressing to listen to. You really were. You needed an energy drink to get through that show. This is where I'm at. I don't care if he doesn't play in this game. I don't care if he doesn't play against Washington on Thursday. Do you know what I care about? I care about that the man plays in the second half of the season and going into the playoffs. That's what I care about. If the man doesn't play the first 3 or 4 games, but his back is good the rest of the year after that, don't need surgery, don't need anything else, and we've taken care of it, fine with me. Don't play until after the bye week. You and Christian Watson can come back together against the Bengals. Totally fine. I have no issue with it. And if you are listening to the sound of my voice right now on the Fan, you shouldn't be all that worried about it either. This isn't a rental, right? You don't get Micah Parsons for this year, and then he's a free agent after the season is up. And then he can go to Detroit, or he can go to Chicago, or go wherever he wants. That's not what this is. You signed him to a long-term contract. And when you signed him to a long-term contract, it was with long-term aspirations of what this thing was going to be looking like going forward. He isn't 33 with a bad back. That's completely different than somebody in their mid-20s with a bad back at this point. I think there's a lot of overreaction and a lot of overanalysis right now on his back. If I'm Matt LaFleur, and if I'm Brian Gutekunst, if my doctors and my training staff say, if we're being honest, him not playing the first 2 games, it would be beneficial to his back long term. If they tell me that, we're good. You're not playing the first 2 games. Because remember, that second game against Washington is Thursday night football. So you play Sunday, and then you play Thursday. Both games are games you may not win. You may be 0-2 to start the season. And if the Packers are 0-2 to start the season, it is not end of the world. Do not freak out. Do not act like the world is ending because the Packers are 0-2. The season will not be over. Won't be off to a great start, but it won't be over. The long-term health of Micah Parsons is the number one concern. The number one concern should not be whether or not he plays this week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week. Long-term health is what we're talking about. So if they say he's better off waiting till after the bye week to play, cool. Then he can sit till after the bye week and him and Christian Watson can come out and play together. I'd rather have that than say, okay, I'm Micah Parsons. Ooh, I'm going to go out there and show him how tough I am. And then midway through the quarter, fourth quarter, he's lying on his back on the ground with back spasms or whatever going on. He gets wheeled out, and then he doesn't play 2 or 3 weeks, not because he can and chose not to, but now he can't because now he can't move. Like, I have no interest in that whatsoever. None. He wants to play to show everybody that he can play. He wants to play because they signed him to all that money, and he wants to get out there and prove to Packer fans and to his teammates that he's worth all that money. That's why he wants to play. As a GM and as a head coach of this organization, you cannot let that be your mentality running the Green Bay Packers, Charlie.
Or the back just isn't as bad as a lot of people want to make it out to be. Again, there's videos of him practicing and looking good from the past couple of days where he looks like he's moving fine, where he looks like he's hitting pads and hitting people and doing one-on-one reps fine. Like, this is not something that I look at here and again, immediately freak out about. This is very kind of middle tier on my freak out meter for any kind of situation when it comes to football. I think he's going to be okay. I really don't think that at any point here that he's going to end up on his back, especially if you limit his snaps from the beginning, like we were talking about with that 20 snap count there through these first couple of games. I am honestly kind of the opposite of you. I don't think you can lose both of these first 2 games. I don't think that is something that this Green Bay Packers team, who we've talked about over the past few weeks before they traded for Micah Parsons, how they were a lot closer to the pack, be it they were at the top of the pack, but they're a lot closer to the pack than they were to the Philadelphia Eagles. You went and traded for a Micah Parsons in order to separate yourself from that pack and put yourself closer to the Philadelphia Eagles. And now you're going to go 2 weeks without him and put yourself immediately back into that pack where you're playing 2 other teams who are also at the top of that pack as well, who are also going to be playing for playoff positions later on in the year and could be extremely important in the way that you are seated in the playoffs, which does mean something.
The only thing that matters is if you're in the Super Bowl at the end of the year, folks. I hate to break it to you. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. And we're getting more into this 4 o'clock hour. But you traded for Micah Parsons to go win a Super Bowl, to go to the Super Bowl. That's why you traded for Micah Parsons. You didn't trade for Micah Parsons to week 1 or week 2 in 2025. You traded for Micah Parsons to bring home the Vince Lombardi trophy back to where it belongs in Titletown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You didn't trade for him for regular season games at the beginning of the season. That's not why Brian Gutekunst made this deal. That's not part of the deal. It never was part of the deal at the end of the day. And you're saying, well, you got to prove to everybody that you've caught Philly. I'll prove to everybody I caught Philly when we beat Philly in the playoffs. Then nobody will be talking about week 1 and week 2 and losing those games. It doesn't matter. If Micah Parsons plays, let's say he plays week 1 and 2, and he plays through the year. And then let's say his back acts up. Week 16, week 15, his back goes on and says, dude, I can't do this anymore, man. I'm going to have some rest or something. And now he's not available in a playoff game or 2 playoff games, and you lose. Then what? Then it's like, well, at least he played the regular season. I mean, not that we can do that. He was hurt in the postseason. Or let's say he plays all year, never 100%, fighting with that back pain the whole time, doesn't play well in a postseason game because he's still dealing with pain, and they get beat. Is he going to be given the out that he's been playing with back pain and he's still going to be deemed a hero at the end of the day? Or is it going to be, wow, he wasn't worth the trade. I can't believe they made the trade. He did disappear in the playoffs like everybody said he would. See, that's the thing in my mind. If I'm Micah Parsons, man, I get it, right? I get the pride thing of I'm going to prove to everybody I'm going to play and I'm not going to wimp out here and sit out games because I don't feel right. I understand that aspect of it. But at the same time, man, you have the rest of your career in front of you, man. You aren't a 15-year vet whose career is around the corner being done, and you're fighting getting through to the end, and your one last chance at winning a Super Bowl is this year, so you're going to gut it out and try and get through it. You got so much time left. There's no reason to put yourself in this situation, Charlie.
Why was it before we traded for Micah Parsons that people should be more frustrated with the Packers because they're not making aggressive moves to win the Super Bowl?
Yep.
And then now all of a sudden after we trade for Micah Parsons, it's don't be aggressive anymore. Don't make any other moves. Do everything.
You're talking about a player's health. You're not talking about trading for players or signing players.
Again,
you're talking about a star player's health.
His health is. Nobody really truly knows. And he hasn't said anything about it. That's what we're down to. He's on the practice field playing. He's out there practicing. He's out there playing football right now.
He pushed a sled. That's what I saw. I don't know what you saw. I saw him push a sled.
Out there practicing. He's on the field. If he was really that hurt, if that was really the situation that he was in here and really could not walk at all because his back pain was so bad, he would not be.
Well, then he wouldn't have passed the physical, and he wouldn't be on this team.
And he passed the physical, so that means it cannot be that bad.
Okay, so in your mind, then. Is he a wimp if he doesn't play on Sunday?
No.
Are you calling him out saying, oh, come on, man, you practiced all week. You're not tough enough to suck it up and play after you practiced all week?
No, that is not what I said.
Well, you're saying the reason he should play is because he's practicing, Charlie.
I'm saying the reason he should play is because he can play.
But if he doesn't play, then it's on him then, right?
Then he can't play. Then he needs to say something about that. This is all like...
This is not on him. This is going to be on the Packers coaching staff and the training staff.
The Packers want to go and win games. You can't just ignore the entire regular season and hope that everything's going to be okay. The reason you get a Micah Parsons, again, is to take that next step. It's not to prove people wrong or have Micah prove people wrong or anything.
What's the next step?
The next step is making a run at some point in the playoffs. The next step is significantly winning this division and putting yourself in the best position. The biggest problem we had with this Packers team last year was not that they lost in the playoffs, is that they went 1-5 in the division. We talked about it for multiple weeks after the season was over.
But it wouldn't have mattered if they went 5-1 in the division. They still lose in the same round of the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
They might have had a higher seed. They might have gotten a first round bye. They might have been healthier later on in the playoffs.
A lot of mites. We don't know. The other thing we do know,
we don't know that he guarantees a Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers at this point.
No, but I know this. They're not going to one without him in the postseason. If his back is hurt and he can't play in the postseason, they're not going. They don't have enough, which is the exact same thing we said before we got him. And that's why at the end of the day, this dude's health has to be first. I've watched for, I don't know, a long time, a majority of my career, the Green Bay Packers sit guys that could have played that they wouldn't let play. Guys getting frustrated and angry vocally about them not being allowed to play because they were being super conservative in Green Bay, wanting to make sure they were right before they put him back out there, even though guys thought they could play before they were let back out there, right? Then I've also seen guys come back that weren't ready to come back from a hamstring injury, re-injure the hamstring, and then be gone for the rest of the year because they pushed and pushed and pushed to get back out there to play with their guys, and then were lost for the rest of the season. I'm just saying, if you're going to pick guys to be super conservative with, Jordan Love is a guy I'm going to be super conservative with. If I'm picking another guy, it's Micah Parsons. And the third guy is Christian Watson because that dude can't stay healthy. Those three guys I'm going to be super ultra conservative with, and I'm going to play it really, really tight because my goal is having those three dudes ready to play in the playoffs. Because if they're not there in the playoffs, it's going to be tough to win. And that includes Watson. And I know what they have. I know they have Matthew Golden. And if you look at the depth chart, Matthew Golden is starting. Okay, fine. But this is not the same team without Christian Watson as it is with Christian Watson at the end of the day. Ah, it was good. Charlie using over there. Steve Sparky Fifer here. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Out here at the Broad House on Old World, 3rd Street. Come on out. We're out here. Thanks in part to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea made with real iced tea, real vodka. Refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's perfect game day sipper. Also, don't forget about Wendy's. My goodness gracious, Wendy's, right? You got to check out Wendy's and Wednesday Addams. Do we know who Wednesday Addams is? I didn't. I learned all about it because of Wendy's. The meal of misfortune, devised by Wednesday Addams, is available now at Wendy's, where you must surrender to your fate. Comes with rest and 10-piece nugs, small cursed and crispy fries, and a small Raven's Blood Frosty, and of course, 2 of 4 mysterious dips of dread to up the torment. In Wednesday's words, it's pure torture and tribute to the suffering that awaits us all from the dips of dread. And the best part is you never know which one you'll get, each uniquely insufferable in its own torturous way. It's got to be Wendy's. Watch Wednesday Season 2 only in Netflix. Available for a limited time only at a participating U.S. Wendy's while supplies last. Take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. NL player and pitcher of the month both reside in Milwaukee. Talk more about that straight ahead. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at the Broad House. Take their shuttles to and from Brewers games, every home Brewers game, including coming up tonight, Brewers and Phillies, game 2 of that set at American Family Field. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Broad House, World 3rd Street downtown. Come on out. Hang out here at the Broad House. Again, shuttles to and from every home Brewers game. Going to want to hop on those shuttles. Great food and drink specials, of course, out here in large part due to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. The perfect game day sipper. Brewers coming up tonight against the Phillies, Game 2. We'll have the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz with you from 5 until 6:30 tonight. If you're out in the area by the Broad House, stop out here this afternoon. Before you hop on the shuttle, we got the relief pitcher fan T-shirts to give away. We've got the stress balls, Sun Cruiser hats, all kinds of fun stuff out here. Come and hang out with us at the Broad House. Down here on Old World 3rd Street. And Tommy Wirtz will be out here at 5 o'clock as well. It's going to be a fun one today. Okay, Charlie, you wanted to do this topic earlier. I told you to pick a topic, and let's see what you come up with. Bryce Terang and Freddie Peralta receive some honors.
They did. So Bryce Terang was named the National League Player of the Month, and Freddie Peralta was named the National League Pitcher of the Month. Both of these are awards that are given out across the league every month, like the name suggests. Isaac Collins last month won the Rookie of the Month. We saw Jacob Mizorowski win the Rookie of the Month award. If we wanted to take a look at the stats for these couple of guys and what got them this award. So Freddie Peralta through the month of August had a .32 ERA with a .117 batting average of players against, a 31.8% strikeout rate, and 4 wins with just 1 earned run being a home run given up to Eli White of Atlanta earlier in the month. We go over to Bryce Terang's stats for the month. He had a .694 slugging percentage, a 1.092 OPS, 10 home runs, and 75 total bases. Both of them blowing, honestly, the rest of the league out of the water, it feels like.
You know, the other part about this is the Brewers tweeted out this deal, like you just said. One of the greatest calendar months by a starting pitcher in the modern era.
Insane. Just absolutely nuts. Like just a run that I don't think anybody really expected from Freddie Peralta going into this season, and is really just the epitome of what his season has been so far. I think this is finally the month, the period that puts him into the kind of that national spotlight. And we were talking about it with Thunder earlier on Middays with Thunder. He had mentioned that Zach Wheeler's hurt now. So this kind of pushes Freddie Peralta into that top 3 Cy Young vote, possibly getting his name into that voting at the end of the year.
Charlie,
what's up?
Why don't I feel as excited as you are about this? Because you and I have had conversations on this show in the last month, I believe, in the month of August, about, and that wasn't just us. They were talking about the Mason Crosby show from 9 to 11, brought to you by Verizon, right? Him and Mitch Thunder and Ellis and Tommy Wirtz, they were talking about Freddie Peralta. We were talking about Freddie Peralta. Both shows were saying the same thing. Man, this dude's got to go deeper in the games, man. Like, you can't be at 90-some pitches in the 5th inning. You're going against Logan Webb. He's at 60-some pitches in the same said 5th inning in that Giants game at American Family Field a couple weekends ago. That cannot be if you're going to be the one on this staff. And, yes, those numbers are amazing. And, yes, Freddie Peralta deserves Pitcher of the Month. And, yes, great numbers. But at the end of the day, when you get to that next step, when you get to that postseason step, and you say it's Freddie Peralta against player X, whoever that may be, are you going to feel confident that Freddie Peralta is going to go longer into a game and do well versus the opposing team's ace pitcher at that point?
I don't really know, I guess, if that's the question we need to be asking. I think it's more so what we had earlier in the show when we had some comments here on the YouTube stream, is if the bullpen is going to be able to step up. I think what we're seeing from Freddie Peralta and why I'm not really worried about him is, yes, he's not going deep enough. It would be nicer for him to go 6 or 7 innings versus the 4.5 or the 5 that he's doing right now. And that's also why he's probably not going to win the NL Cy Young at this race, because he's not going deep enough. But what he is doing in that period of time that he is in the game is otherworldly. It's again, like the Brewers had said, a month that we have never seen from a Brewers pitcher, let alone really any kind of pitcher in that time. And what he's doing for 4 to 5 innings a game is enough to at least give the Brewers offense a chance, especially in the playoffs.
The part of this for me, and going back and forth with one Tommy Wirtz earlier today, Bryce Terang is the other guy that won an award this month, Charlie, correct?
Correct, yes.
So Bryce Terang puts up great offensive numbers. Again, I mean, Barry Bonds-esque power month, right? 10 home runs or whatever it was in the month of August, which is stupid. This is the thing. Jim Bowden had his top 50 prospects for The Athletic earlier today that he posted. So I immediately go, okay, Jim Bowden, former GM, MLB Network. So I go and I look. I see one. Nobody. I see two. I see three. I see four. I see five. No Brewers prospects. Now I'm getting concerned. I see 6. I see 7. I see 8. I see 9. I see 10. No Brewers prospects, Charlie. I see 11. I see 12. I see 13. I see 14. I see 15. No Brewers prospects, Charlie. No Made, no Pena, nothing. And when you finally get to 17, you finally see Made. And I think it was like 24, 25, somewhere in that area, you see Luis Pena. And the talk was that Pena, Bowden sees him as a second baseman, sees Made as a third baseman. And Tommy and I are texting, and Tommy goes, man, I really want him to retire as a Brewer. Terang, that is. Bryce Terang, right? Does that mean Terang's going to short? He's going to retire as a Brewer. And my response was, I don't think any of these dudes are retiring as a Brewer, if we're being honest. I hate to be a naysayer here, but if this cat, Bryce Terang, is winning platinum gloves and putting up 20 homers a year and hitting like 285 or so, if this is real and he's going to do this every year of his career, they have him for 4 more years of control, okay? 4 more years. Then he goes off to free agency in 2030. If he puts these numbers up, like everybody else, he's going to be out of the Brewers' price range because he's going to be doing it offensively at a more consistent level than even Willy Adames was. And look at what Willy Adames just got paid. And then Willy Adames went into the tank at that point. So to see what Bryce Terang is doing right now and knowing you have him for the next 4 years, whether it's at second base or shortstop, puts you in a really happy position at this point, knowing you're good. Freddie Peralta, on the other hand, you're not as certain of because he has 1 year left on his deal. You don't know if they're going to trade Freddie Peralta in the offseason. You don't know if they're going to bring him back and then trade him at the trade deadline, or do they let him pitch all of next year and then let him walk into free agency based on what he does? I do know this much. Freddie Peralta is making himself a lot of money as we currently sit, just based on numbers alone. Even if they use innings against him in, free agency after next year, he's still going to set himself up for a lot of money base salary-wise.
Definitely. And I think when I look at a Bryce Terang, going back to him, I see DJ LeMahieu at this point. That's what I've decided that kind of he reminds me of. That kind of power combo, a little bit of not really, I guess, true speed, but just a really smart base runner. Again, I think which is something that a lot of these Brewers players have. I see that. I see a platinum defender. And DJ LeMahieu couldn't stay in Colorado for very long before ending up with the New York Yankees and then playing with the New York Yankees to end out his career there. That's what this feels like is going to happen with that. And it's kind of unfortunate to think that we don't have those same kind of expectations for a guy like Freddie Peralta at this point because he's been around for longer, because this is truly the first season that he's reached those expectations we had, and he's still going to be out of the Brewers' price range too. If the other guy we're comparing him to in this situation, the other player of the month is Bryce Terang, who I'm comparing to a MVP in a DJ LeMahieu at one point in his career, then Freddie Peralta, who is not, I wouldn't compare him to a former Cy Young at this point, but we can't pay for that. That's unfortunate, man. That's really sad to hear.
Well, it may be sad, but it's reality. As being a Brewers fan, you just know this is how this is going to go. Having said that, DJ LeMahieu started with who in his career?
Colorado, the Rockies.
No.
Oh, he didn't? I thought he was it Minnesota then?
Nope.
No? Where was he before the Rockies?
The Cubs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He came up, and the Cubs apparently weren't impressed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So his first year in the majors was 2011, age 22. He had 250, no homers, 4 RBIs, -0.2 WAR. Then in 2012, he ends up with the Rockies.
Yeah.
From 2012 which was his age 23 season, through his age 29 season in 2018. So that is 7 years, something like that, or 7 years, like 6-7 years in Colorado. He only hit double-digit home runs twice in Colorado, mind you. In his age 27 year, he hit 11. He hit 15 in his age 29 year. The year before, he ended up going to the Yankees. He hit 15 that year. The most home runs he's ever hit in his career, and maybe the best year of his career, you could argue, maybe not individual average or on base, but cumulative, might have been with the Yankees when he was an all-star in 2019. He had 26 homers and 102 RBIs, and he wasn't in Colorado when he hit all those homers, Charlie.
Yeah, that's pretty insane that he was able to do that. I will say he had some really great double numbers when he was in Colorado, too. He was just getting a lot of extra base hits just in general. So, yeah, it wasn't a lot of home runs, which I think we're seeing right now. Probably Bryce Terang hitting a lot of home runs that I think in the future will probably end up being doubles. I just feel like that the way he hits and the way that he hit before this doesn't lead to him hitting more home runs than he has hit this season in any season in his future. So that's kind of why I feel that. I just feel like that when you are able to do those types of numbers as a guy like DJ LeMahieu, no matter where you're playing in Colorado, in New York, and to have that longevity in your career and have a team believe in your longevity in your career like that, like the Yankees did with him and gave him that type of contract, there's no way a Brewers team can pay that, even if it does end up being only a 3-time All-Star type of career like a DJ LeMahieu, again, who still had an MVP ceiling at points in his career.
I think when you look at Bryce Terang, I don't know who the comp is. I have no idea who the comp is. But I think Bryce Terang going forward, if this power is real, I don't know. We talked about it yesterday. I don't know what's going on. But if he is a 20 home run guy, let's say he's a 20 home run guy. He's not a 10 home run a month guy. That we know. But let's say he hits 20 a year and hits 285. He's going to get paid a lot of money in today's baseball. Why? Because most of these dudes that are hitting 20, 30 home runs are hitting like 250 and striking out a ton. So if Terang is going to steal, 20 to 30 bags, hit 20-plus home runs, and hit around 285, he's going to get paid a lot of money, not to mention, again, the great defender that he is, whether it be at second base or shortstop, that also will factor into all the money that he's going to make when this is all said and done. So, again, if you want to buy a jersey, I think Bryce Terang is a good jersey to go buy, right? I think that's fair. I think a lot of these guys are good jerseys. Sal Frelick's not going anywhere anytime soon, right?
Anthony Siegler?
Sal Frelick's a good jersey to buy as well. Jackson Chourio is a good jersey to buy as well. That's another good one. Who else would I buy? Contreras is going to be gone, right? So if you buy Contreras, you have to buy William Contreras knowing that this may not last much longer in Milwaukee for him. Now, once he hits free agency, odds are the Brewers aren't going to be able to sign him. They've got two guys that are coming behind him. Dingus right now, who's playing really well down at Wisconsin. You feel good about Dingus catching, and then Cuero's at AAA. So Contreras may not be a great long-term investment, but long-term investments, Terang, Frelick, Chourio, I feel like those three guys you feel good about. Past that, Caleb Durbin, maybe. I'm not buying a Caleb Durbin jersey, but maybe Caleb Durbin, Blake Perkins, Garrett Mitchell. Garrett Mitchell was hot there for a second, but he can't stay healthy, so he can't even put Garrett Mitchell really into that conversation to this point for a jersey you would want. And Vaughn, again, hot for a second. Now he's come crashing back down to earth, it feels like maybe a little bit here. Maybe a day or two off will help him get rested and feel better about things going forward. So I'm not on the Andrew Vaughn bandwagon as far as buying his jersey. He has a 1 year left on his deal as well, according to Adam McKelvey earlier in the season. So if that's the case, like you feel really good about 3 or 4 guys on this team, and then you wait for the next crop of players to get here before you invest in the Mate, the Pena jerseys. Fisher, who they just drafted, he won the game for him last night down at Wisconsin. He's playing really well at this point, as is Mate. Pena struggling with the Timber Rattlers. But yeah, come out and see Tommy Wirtz coming up today, 5 to 6:30. He'll be out here as well at the Broad House downtown Old World 3rd Street. He'll have all the fan swag to give out as well. The bucket hats, the T-shirts, the fan bags, the Sun Cruiser T-shirts, koozies, all of that. Do you know who else is out here, Charlie?
Who else is out there?
Van Yeager, baby.
Hell yeah, he is.
Van Yeager, yeah. You probably saw him play at Summerfest a couple of times, singing his songs out there at Summerfest, doing his thing. He's out here. So, maybe, do you see, who was it doing it the other day? I forgot who it was. Somebody the other day was, I think it was Levering, Jeff Levering. Did something where he was like, something having to do with donations to a charity with his Cameo or whatever that thing is. Is that what I got that right?
Yep.
Cameo, right?
I think you should have one of those, Sparky.
No. But Van Yeager should have a cameo where like he sings happy birthday to like your significant other or something like that. Having Van Yeager sing happy birthday. Like, don't you think that would be a pretty big deal to have Van Yeager singing songs?
I think I'd pay for that. Yeah, easy, dude.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes, no doubt. Him and I were talking earlier today. I was like, hey, dog, don't forget about me when you got American Family Field sold out. I want tickets, man. Van Yeager up next at American Family Field. But we would need Thunder to introduce him because Mitch Nellis is the king of the dramatic announcement, WWE style, every day on his show.
It's because he's the most dramatic person I've ever met in my life. He just
ever?
I don't know about ever. That's probably a lie. I've met more dramatic people, but in this industry so far, he's the most dramatic person I've met.
Now, what do you mean by dramatic? Define dramatic.
Just big and loud, and he likes like yelling things and being kind of like, just outrageous sometimes. Like you're dramatic in a different way, Sparky, where you're like you overanalyze things right away and then you draw yourself back a little bit. Mitch just goes full into stuff. Sometimes doesn't have a plan, but he's going full in no matter what. That's what matters.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, guys, we'll get time out. Come out on the other side. Charlie's sounds of the day. What will be his 3 sounds of the day that he will pick today? It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Fifer with you at the Broad House. Come take advantage of the shuttles to and from the Brewers home game coming up tonight and every home game for the Milwaukee Brewers. And also, when you're out here, make sure to have yourself a Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea made with real iced tea. Real vodka, refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Charlie, I told you yesterday that we had to talk about prize picks and what is going on with prize picks. I will give you what I also did with prize picks, my other lineup that I made earlier this week. We'll do that coming up next, along with Charlie's Sounds of the Day here on The Fan. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up hot and fresh by Wendy's, live here at the Broad House, Oral 3rd Street down here. Come hang out. Free shuttles to and from Brewers games right here from the Broad House. Great food, great drink, of course. Sun Cruiser, vodka, iced tea. Make sure to grab yourself one of those. 100 calories, right around 4% alcohol volume. Take advantage of it, man. I'm telling you, you will absolutely love them. Plus, get yourself Sun Cruiser t-shirt, koozies, hats. Got the Relief Pitcher fan t-shirts. You want one of those, stop by the table. Got the bucket hats with the fan as well. Fan bags, if you want to get one of those, carry your stuff around in. So many people nowadays, I don't know if you're one of those people, Charlie, take their own bags to the grocery store versus getting the plastic bags to, like, put your groceries in at the end of the day. You could use one of these fan bags to do just that.
You could. We are one of those people, or a couple of those people, me and my girlfriend, or at least we try to be. Whenever we remember the bag, we bring the bag, which is not very often.
I am not one of those people. I never bring a bag. I always use the plastic bags that they give me. I am not happy when I don't get a plastic bag and I have to put crap in my car. Not a fan of that at all. 100% don't like it. But there is more to it than that, Charlie. I am not happy because I use those plastic bags to pick up dog poop at home, to put dirty diapers in, or whatever the else case may be at home. I use the plastic bags. You people probably just throw them out and don't use them, but I reuse them for good things, Charlie.
Actually, we use all our leftover plastic bags, like you do for stinky things. We use them as like garbage liners and stuff.
Oh yeah, you
so,
can
like,
do that
in the
too.
Bathroom in our bedroom.
Yes.
That's where we put our recyclables. Usually, is inside one of the plastic bags because we don't have a recycling bin in our apartment. So, we use them still, too.
Good. As long as we use them. I'm not a fan of going to these stores where they're like, oh, yeah, no bag. Sorry. May not come back. I'm telling you, these self-checkouts, man, get on my last nerve, man. I'm telling you, I've completely quit going to multiple grocery stores in Oak Creek that don't have human beings at the checkouts after 8 o'clock. I don't go anymore. If it's after 8, okay, I'm going to the other one, but I know I'm going to have a human being to check me out. Otherwise, I'm out, not even going, losing my business. But I told you, I'm mad about that stuff. I'm not letting that go.
As somebody who works in, I guess, retail food service, that's okay. Sometimes, if one person doesn't want to come back because it's not working, it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings usually.
Yeah, well, that's probably not, because the people that are in charge aren't there and don't care. The people that are working there don't care.
Don't care, yeah.
So when you have a bunch of people that don't care, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter at the end of the day. I do care about getting to Charlie's Sounds of the Day.
1, 2, 3. What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Fan.
All right, time for Charlie's Sound of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. And looking forward to telling you what my weekly lineup is. We already told you about one of them, but I'm going to tell you about my second lineup that I did as well. But first, before we get to that, Charlie, what do we have for clips?
All right, first up, we're going to go to the world of MLB, where yesterday the San Francisco Giants were taking on the aforementioned Colorado Rockies, like we were talking about before. Rafael Devers, in the first inning of that game, hit a home run that he sat and watched, and Kyle Freeland took not kindly to it. Same with the rest of the Colorado Rockies.
They're 5 games out of the final wild card spot. Devers skies one to right, way up there, and gone. Another one for Rafi Devers. And Kyle Freeland, the benches are clearing. Devers is trying to round the bases. Freeland was unhappy, and now we got punches being thrown. Oh, my goodness. I mean, Devers still hasn't rounded the bases.
Yeah, I just, found it extremely disrespectful to, show me up like that in the first inning after hitting a home run, standing there watching it, taking your sweet time getting down to first base. I've been in this league for quite some time. I know he is as well. I just find that extremely disrespectful, and felt that I need to let him know about that.
That was courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area and also NBC Sports Colorado.
I don't know what to say, because if I say what I want to say, then you're the old guy. So it is what it is. But you got this in baseball. This is what people like Charlie like. People like Charlie love this stuff. Showboaty stuff, all about it. The Acuñas of the world, the Rafael Devers of the world. People love that crap. I'm not one of them. I don't like it at all. I want it out. But it's not going to go out. And if we're being honest, if you want to grow the game of baseball, to get the younger people to watch the game of baseball, you want this stuff to continue on. Back in the 90s, man, there were brawls all the time in baseball, people throwing down, and that was entertainment. Most was like, oh, yeah, another flight, let's go, right? That was big. But Sealy came in and said, nope, don't want it, get rid of it. So really, we don't see it anymore. If this showboat gets us to more fights, that will be entertaining, Charlie.
And I think that's what some people want to see is the fights happening. Like you're talking about in this situation, is that when I'm watching some of these baseball games, when it's the Colorado Rockies, who are one of the worst teams in the MLB and really are not a very fun team to watch. Like there's bad teams who are fun. The Athletics are a fun team to watch sometimes, even though they're not the best team in the MLB.
They got some good young talent.
Yeah, the Rockies are not one of those teams.
No.
So when you can have moments like this where one of your best players in a Kyle Freeland is going to stick up for the guys on the field, stick up for himself in this situation, Rafael Devers, again,
he's been stuck in Colorado forever, right, too.
Like he's like Ryan McMahon just got out. He was stuck there forever too. But when Rafael Devers is going to go out there and do this kind of young baseball player type of thing, like you're talking about where Ronald Acuna is dancing around the bases or Devers is watching a home run fly, which, I mean, it was a bomb. I would have sat there and watched it fly too at the same time. You want a Kyle Freeland to get mad about that. You want them to have this type of reaction and have this type of emotion because that's what I think a lot of people attribute to baseball that we haven't seen in a really long time.
Charlie using over there. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. It's Charlie's Sounds of the Day brought to you by Prize Picks. Use that promo code Sparky, SPARKY, and you'll be very happy that you did at the end of the day. Why? Because when you use that promo code Sparky, you play that first $5 lineup on your Prize Picks app, and they are going to give you $50 in lineups after that first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky, SPARKY. To get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Don't forget, if you do the quick math, I put $5 in. If I pay all $5 lineups, that means I have $55. I can play 11 lineups at $5 a crack before I ever have to put another dollar into Prize Picks. Folks, it's a no-brainer. Use code Sparky, SPARKY. Clip number 2.
Next up, we're going to hear from Bomani Jones, formerly of ESPN.
Yep.
This is on his podcast, The Right Time with Bomani Jones. He was discussing the Packers trading for Micah Parsons, and he has a more negative take on it about the Packers than most people do.
The Packers absolutely blew the box on this. I don't think there was any circumstance under which Jerry Jones is going to pay him $47 million a year. I fully believe this became personal for the Cowboys. This became personal for Jerry. This became personal for Micah Parsons. And that's the biggest reason that the deal went the way that it ultimately did. If Jerry had paid him $47 million, we'd be killing Jerry for paying him $47 million. Because as much as we say the price for these things kept going up and up and up, the price did not go up to $47 million. The Packers took that price to $47 million. So what you're telling me right now is that the Packers got a guy that they just had to give an epidural, and they are paying him something in the neighborhood of almost 20% more than what the going rate for a player like that had been.
So, first of all, can we go back? Did they confirm they gave him an epidural?
I don't think they've given him yet. They just said that they were planning on doing it before the game if he has pain that's like persisting.
Right. Okay. So they've not given him crap yet. Okay. First thing, let's clarify that from Bomani Jones. The second thing, yes, you're right. The Dallas Cowboys, I believe the initial story was they were offering $40.5 million. That would put them, $500,000 above the next guy or whatever the case was. So, yes, they paid him more than what the Dallas Cowboys were going to pay him. But the one thing that Bomani Jones does not know, and I do not know, is if they would have opened this up to a bidding war in Dallas and said, we're going to take all offers. Yep, he's on the trading block. Best offer. Come on, let's go. Who knows how much more money Melgata could have got for Micah Parsons from another football team that was in on this. The thing that he had working against him was a lot of these teams already have their rosters filled out, already have their money spent towards the cap and everything else. Now, there were still a bunch of teams that were under the salary cap. And like Andrew Brandt said before, the big fallacy that is always spread out there by everybody, the former Packer executive said it on Friday on Mason Crosby's show, is, oh boy, you can't have a high-paid quarterback and surround him with other high-paid talent and win a Super Bowl if you have all that money. Well, the Packers are about to test that theory because you have two guys making over $100 million. You are the only roster in the NFL to have said two guys over $100 million. So if it can be done, the Green Bay Packers now will be the first team to do it if they can pull this off. And then you will see copycats around the rest of the National Football League try to do it. You can do that if they do achieve this. Why? Because you draft really, really well. Why? Because you get undrafted free agents that come in and have an impact. And maybe the latest, the nose tackle from Georgia, Stackhouse, right? That's his name. Maybe he is the latest guy to have an impact as an undrafted free agent this year. They're paying him nothing, right? Fresh off not getting drafted, paying a minimal money, and he might go out there and have an impact in place of Kenny Clark this year. Not every organization drafts that well, develops that well, and are able to do it at the level of the Green Bay Packers. That is why most teams cannot afford to do what the Green Bay Packers are doing right now, Charlie.
Well, and moves like that, where you give a guy like Nazir Stackhouse his opportunity at that defensive tackle position while moving on from a veteran like Kenny Clark, not only saves you the money to make a move for a guy like Micah Parsons, but also if Stackhouse doesn't work out, you can say, well, he was an undrafted free agent that we weren't paying anything to. We'll just move on to the next one and hope that works out too. They're saving their butts on the other side of this thing too. Like, it's just really smart to run your organization that way, especially when you know you have players already that make you at least a competitive team. When you have a Jordan Love and a Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney already, right, you have all these players that are going to put you into the playoffs. Getting a guy like Micah Parsons, there's really no risk to that, especially when you're also running players out there that nobody knows and nobody will remember, even if they're not good.
Yep, I totally agree with you on that. All right, let's move on to the next one, and that is clip number 3.
And last up here, this is one that you had sent me by. I had already had it saved, and I wanted to use it for Sound of the Day really bad because I thought it was just hilarious that this guy went out and actually did this. But Kay Adams on Up and Adams yesterday shared a tweet where the fan of her show went out and before the Packers trade for Micah Parsons had said that he wanted to do something crazy. And he actually went and did something crazy after the Packers traded for Micah Parsons.
The thing that I saw this morning that was crazy is that a man named Nico got a tattoo. So this Nico Cuevas, Nico Says Things, said if Kay Adams helps get Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, I'm getting a Kay Adams tattoo. I don't write the rules. To which, of course, I'm taking the fact that I wanted this to happen, said I was fan jamming this to happen, and the trade actually happened was crazy. But I did not think this would happen. And I do believe this is real, Matthew. I believe Nico.
It's real.
And what does that say on the bottom?
It says Kay did it.
Hey, Nico. Okay, I look gorgeous. Nico, I don't know what to say. You know what? Nico's always going to remember. He's going to tell his grandkids someday. I'm surrounded by men who don't commit to anything. This is the most commitment I've seen out of a man in my purview in a long time. I appreciate that.
So if you guys haven't seen it, it is a tattoo of Kay Adams on this guy's forearm wearing a cheese head. And underneath it, like her producer had said in the clip there, it says Kay did it, as in Kay went and got Micah Parsons for the Packers. Absolutely insane.
I will say that I agree with her that tattoo of her is gorgeous. That is a hot-looking little tattoo on that dude's arm. So I will agree on that. And she, let's be honest. You could have went to any random tattoo hack job, got some horrible tattoo and sent it to her. She would have been like, oh my God, that's awful. And now it's gone viral of me and people are going to make fun of it. But instead, this dude went and spent probably a good amount of money. I don't know how much tattoos cost. Have you ever had a tattoo, Charlie?
I have not, no.
I would guess that tattoo is probably $200-$300 or something along those lines, right? Maybe more than that. It was done by a really good person, that whoever did the tattoo artwork on this dude's arm. If I'm Kay Adams, like she said, nobody ever does anything for me from a man perspective. So the fact that he was willing to go out there and do that and do what he said, now that is a dedicated Packer fan. You know what else? If Charlie is as good of a producer as I think he is, he'll figure out who that is and we'll get him on this show at some point this season.
I think I could do that.
You think you could find this guy?
Easily. His Twitter's right there. You just hit him up on that.
Yes, let's get him on. I want him on the YouTube video so we can look at the tattoo here on the stream on Wisconsin Sports Daily. We got to get this dude on because the first game is Sunday already. Don't forget Green Bay football post-game show immediately following that game between Green Bay and Detroit. Crazy Takes, Tommy Wirtz, and myself back at it again this year for the Green Bay football post-game show. Looking forward to taking your calls. We'll get us an insight from inside the locker room. Also this year, something else that we did not have last year, Green Bay Packers beat writer for the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Ryan Wood, will be joining the shows throughout the season as well. We'll try and write him down for post games too. So check out Ryan Wood throughout the week here on The Fan. Again, Ryan Wood, if you ever have gone to his Twitter profile, Charlie, back in the day when he was here, if you go on there and you look, it says that dude on AM 12, on the 1250, on the Fan Milwaukee, whatever else. That was given to him, I believe, by Rami Makloff back in the day, calling him that dude.
We've had Ryan on with Rami before. I've never heard him call him that.
Yep, Rami called him that dude. And you played the stuff of Rami singing the Mets fight song for him and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very funny as well. Very, very funny. So Ryan Wood will be on starting next week on all the daily shows throughout the week. Plus, we'll have the Green Bay football post-game show as well. Fantasy Football Fridays are back again with Joe Bartel here on the show. Each Friday, we'll do Fantasy Football Friday with Joe Bartel. We got to figure out a time for that. What time are you thinking? Do you have a time in your mind? I don't remember when we did it last year. Was it 4 o'clock last year?
I think we did it 4 o'clock last season. I would say 3:20. I like having it on right before Sound of the Day because then we can just go right into Sound of the Day. No, why not?
Because we have Drew Wagner throughout the baseball season at 3:20. That's not going to work. So it's either going to have to be at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Friday. See, on-air production meetings happening right now here on The Fan with Charlie Usen and myself. We'll let you know tomorrow. But if Joe Bartel wrote a wire back, Fantasy Football Fridays again this year. We do it for one segment. Take tweets. We can use the YouTube chat this year, too, for fantasy football questions with the dugout chat going on there. You can also obviously take the phone calls, too. So looking forward to getting to all of that. Did we play all 3 clips? That's all 3 of them,
That was
correct?
all 3, yep.
Let's talk about Prize Picks now. So this is the deal. All you have to do is do Prize Picks. It's free. You download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. It must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. And all you're doing is daily fantasy, right? You're just picking more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Plus, they have the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Now, that is all positive, fun stuff. But they also have going on max discounts. And when I gave you my lineup the other day for the week 1 games, I used how many of those did I use? I used both of them? I used one of them, I think. Now I'm going to have to go back and look. My goodness gracious. I got to go back and look. I know I used one of these max discounts. So the max discounts coming up tomorrow night, Dak Prescott, more than a half a passing yard. And then this weekend, Lamar Jackson, more than a half a passing yard. Now, how can you possibly beat that? I mean, unless there's an Aaron Rodgers injury, both those guys are going to have that. So take advantage of those max discounts right now on your Prize Picks app and be very happy about that. Now, I will say I did one other one here, and it's a free-to-play one, Charlie, on the Prize Picks app. Okay?
All right.
Free to play, which is a beautiful thing. It is the $1 million NFL jackpot free to play. And essentially what you're doing is picking first score in the games coming up this week in certain games that they give you. Now, I'm telling you right now, I have a lot of people involved here. I've got Bijan Robinson, first touchdown, Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I have Jonathan Taylor, first touchdown, Indy, Miami. I have Cortland Sutton, first touchdown, Denver, Tennessee. George Kittle, first touchdown, San Francisco, Seattle. Josh Jacobs, first touchdown, Green Bay, Detroit. Devontae Adams, first touchdown, LA, Houston. James Cook, first touchdown, Buffalo and Baltimore. And Rome Odunze, first touchdown, Chicago, Minnesota. Like, dislike, what do you think?
I like it. I think the only thing that I would change personally, I think first touchdown of Chicago, Minnesota will be Luther Burden, not Roma Dunze.
No, I'm not there. Listen,
why not?
I get down with liking rookie guys. Okay, I understand that. I struggle rolling with rookie wide receivers in their rookie year. Very rarely do guys ever pan out the way everybody thinks they're going to pan out before the season. Like if you go through and pick rookie positions in the NFL and where there tends to be more of a struggle before they get really good, I feel like wide receiver is one of those positions where, yeah, maybe they struggle the first year or two, and then they blow up in year 3 and year 4, and then they're off to the races. Very rarely do you have somebody come in their first year and dominate at that position in the league.
I'm not saying that he's going to get this first touchdown because of I think he's going to break out in this first game. What I saw in the preseason for Chicago was that they were using him a lot in these red zone packages and trying to get him to the outside numbers because he's shifty on the outside of the numbers. And I think that's the reason I feel that way. And I think Caleb Williams has grown a relationship with him in that red zone, which is something he hasn't had with a player in the red zone, especially last season. And that's what excites me a little bit for him to get that first touchdown.
Okay, again, download the Prize Picks app today. Use that promo code Sparky, and you'll be very happy that you did. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Coming up next, Green and Gold update. We'll play some of the clips from Matt LaFleur from earlier today. Plus, we have the injury report from the Green Bay Packers for the game coming up this week. Green Bay and Detroit again. Green Bay football post-game show immediately following each game this year. Myself, Tommy Wirtz, get reaction from the locker room as well, and hopefully he'll have Ryan Wood throughout the season as well from the Green Bay Press Gazette. We'll talk more about this injury report. Coming up next, it is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios here at the Broad House on Old World 3rd Street. Come on down, hang out, take their free shuttles to and from the Brewer game for all home games, including the Brewers game tonight. And then at 5 o'clock, the big old hunk of love. Tommy Wirtz will be here from 5 until 6:30 with the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, getting ready for first pitch between the Brewers and Phillies.